what I'll do is a very quick tutorials on things I learned as I went through. So let's talk about Yukon Cornelius right off the bat. The biggest stressor that I had was this mustache and how I was going to carve that without it snapping off. So the first thing I did, I keep all my scraps for just such a thing. When I practice carving, now the grain, as you know, going across here, the grain is running head to toe. So these grain goes right here, and it is so easy to just touch that with a knife and break it. So that was my biggest fear, that I'd be carving and I'd get out to the end and snap one of his mustache clean off. So I like to try things out separately. So I carved this out, and what I realized in carving that was there's only so far I can go, and then I'm going to need to implement some tools. So I bought this off Temu a long time ago. Dirt cheap, tiny little set of files, flat ones, round ones, diagonal ones. And what I was doing was I used my round file, and after I got the rough shape, I used it very gently to do the grinding to take some of that pressure off. And it worked quite effectively. As you can see, Yukon's looking pretty good. So that part was good. The other thing that I did different with Yukon here is his pom-pom comes right off. Look at that. Okay, now of course I'm going to glue these in permanently, but this is where we're at right now. As do his side pieces. They attach, his ear muffs attach the same way. A lot of advantages to that. I was able to paint them separately, no bleed over or mess up. It made my carving a lot easier, not having to get into, when you're trying to carve a flat spot around something and they're in your way. They weren't in my way. I just carved away, and then a drill, and I used a toothpick for a dowel. I use whatever I can, the smallest size possible. So let's talk about things that either I cheated or I had to adapt. So one was, when I carved him, because of his backpack, he's actually back heavy. So even though I carved him flat, he wants to fall over. So what I did to solve that problem is, yep, you guessed it, I drilled a couple holes and put toothpicks in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. See the little toothpicks for heels? Completely invisible, just enough to keep him upright so he's not falling back over, which is pretty good. The other thing that I cheated is Yukon Cornelius doesn't wear gloves, but you have to adapt, right? So when I carved this hand, I realized really quickly that I didn't leave myself enough room for fingers. So I decided to make it a hand where his hand's curled up, and this one a full glove, just to show that that's a glove. So sometimes just adapt, It's my own Yukon Cornelius. He's far from perfect. My Bumble Monster recently had someone mention that by the time they all became friends, the Bumble Monster didn't have teeth, and that's true because Hermie extracted all his teeth, and that's how he became friends. But I just couldn't do it without the teeth. I'm constantly trying to challenge myself, so that was a very important part for me to make sure he had teeth. So he is holding the star. It is the end of the movie kind of a scene, but he does have all his teeth. Maybe they're dentures.